My mother-in-law wore a wedding dress to my wedding and fake cried when anyone paid attention to me. She gave a toast about how her son is making a mistake. I went no contact, and my husband is mad at me. I, 29F, got married 3 weeks ago to my husband, Ryan, 31M. We've been together for 4 years, and up until the wedding, I thought we were solid. Now I'm questioning everything. My mother-in-law, Linda, has always been a lot. She's one of those my son is my whole world type moms. When Ryan and I first started dating, she told me within the first month that no woman will ever be good enough for my baby. I laughed it off as a joke. It was not a joke. Over the years, Linda has shown up at our apartment unannounced at least once a week. Called Ryan my soulmate multiple times. Yes, really. Tried to convince Ryan to move back in with her because rent is so expensive. We can afford our rent just fine. Accidentally ruined 3 of my birthday cakes by adding salt instead of sugar when she helped. Told me I'm too skinny and too fat in the same conversation. Asked Ryan if he was sure about this at our engagement party. Ryan always defended her with that's just how she is or she means well. I was raised to respect elders and keep the peace, so I bit my tongue. A lot. When we got engaged, Linda cried. Not happy tears, devastated tears. She said she was losing her son. Ryan told her she wasn't losing him, she was gaining a daughter. She looked me dead in the eyes and said, that's not the same. Wedding planning was a nightmare. Linda demanded to be involved in every decision. Tried to invite 50+ people from her side when we had a strict guest limit. Told the caterer to change our menu without asking. Called my wedding dress inappropriate because it showed my shoulders. Asked if she could say something during the ceremony. We said no. But the absolute worst was the dress situation. 2 months before the wedding, Linda asked what color the mother of the bride was wearing. My mom said she was wearing navy blue. Linda said, oh, good. I'll wear something different so we don't clash. 1 week before the wedding, at the rehearsal dinner, Linda showed up in a cream-colored dress. Not white, but close enough that my mom pulled me aside and asked if I knew about it. I didn't. I pulled Ryan aside and asked him to talk to his mom. He said, it's cream, not white. You're overreacting. I let it go because I didn't want to cause drama before the wedding. Reddit, I should have caused the drama. On my wedding day, I'm in the bridal suite getting ready with my bridesmaids. My mom comes in looking pale and says, we have a problem. Linda arrived to the venue in a wedding dress. Not a cream dress. Not an off-white dress. A full-length, white, beaded, lace wedding dress with a veil. A veil, people. My maid of honor immediately says, absolutely not. I'll handle this. She marches out to deal with it. I can hear yelling from the bridal suite. My maid of honor comes back 10 minutes later and says she's refusing to change. She says it's not a wedding dress. It's just a formal white gown and you're being a bridezilla. I'm having a panic attack. This is my wedding day. My photographer arrives to take getting ready photos and asks if the other bride is ready yet. The other bride. My dad goes to talk to Ryan. Ryan comes to the bridal suite and, I will never forget this, says, babe, can you please just let this go? She spent a lot of money on that dress and she'll be so embarrassed if we make her change. It's not worth ruining the day over. I stared at him. My own fiancé, about to be my husband, was asking me to let his mother wear a wedding dress to our wedding. My mom said, Ryan, with all due respect, get out of this room right now before I say something I regret. Ryan left. My bridesmaids rallied around me. We decided I would just have to get through it and deal with it later. The ceremony was a disaster. Linda sat in the front row sobbing. Loud, dramatic sobs. During our vows, people kept turning around to look at her. My photographer kept accidentally getting her in shots because she was positioning herself directly in the aisle sightline. When the officiant said, you may kiss the bride, Linda wailed, like someone had died. At the reception, it got worse. Every time someone came up to congratulate me or compliment my dress, Linda would appear out of nowhere and say things like, well, it's a special day for both of us. What? I'm so emotional. I'm losing my baby boy today. Doesn't Ryan look handsome? I picked out his suit. She did not. She slow danced with Ryan for 3 songs, including one that was supposed to be our newlywed dance. She literally cut in, and Ryan just let her. My friend caught her taking photos in front of our wedding backdrop, posing like SHE was the bride. Multiple guests later told me they were confused about whether it was a double wedding. Then came the toasts. My dad gave a beautiful speech. Ryan's best man gave a funny speech. My maid of honor gave a touching speech. Then Linda stood up. Nobody had asked her to speak. She just stood up, grabbed a microphone, and started talking. Reddit, I will never forget what she said. Word for word. I want to thank everyone for coming today to witness my son make the biggest decision of his life. Ryan, you will always be my number one. You are my heart, my soul, my everything. I know you think you're in love, but nobody will ever love you the way I do. Opie, I hope you understand what you're taking on. Ryan needs a lot of care and attention. He's very sensitive and very special. I'm not sure you're ready for this responsibility, but I suppose we'll see. Ryan, baby, if this doesn't work out, you can always come home to mommy. I'll always be here. My door is always open. You're making a mistake, sweetheart, but I'll support you anyway, because that's what mothers do. The room went silent. My mom's face went red. My dad stood up like he was about to physically remove her. Ryan just sat there looking at his plate. I stood up, took the microphone from her, and said into it, "That was wildly inappropriate. This is MY wedding day, not yours." Then I handed the microphone to the DJ and said, "Next song, please." Linda started crying again and ran out of the reception hall. Ryan got up and followed her. He was gone for 45 minutes. At my own wedding reception, comforting his mother, who wore a wedding dress, and said he was making a mistake marrying me. When Ryan came back, he was cold to me for the rest of the night. We barely spoke during the reception. Our first dance was awkward. He spent most of the night checking his phone, texting his mom. We didn't even stay for the whole reception. Ryan said he was tired and stressed and wanted to leave early. We left our own wedding reception 2 hours before it ended. The wedding night was awful. Ryan was distant. When I tried to talk about what happened, he said, "Can we not do this right now? My mom is really upset. Your mom is upset. We were supposed to leave for our honeymoon, Cancun, already paid for, the next morning." Ryan said he wanted to postpone it because his mom was having a crisis and he needed to be there for her. I told him absolutely not. We argued for 2 hours. I finally said, "We're going on this honeymoon, or I'm going alone." We went, but he was miserable the entire time, constantly texting his mom, calling her, FaceTiming her. She called him crying at least twice a day. One night I grabbed his phone and saw the texts. Linda was saying things like, "I can't believe you abandoned me on the worst day of my life. She's already turning you against me. You chose her over your own mother. I'm so depressed I can barely get out of bed." And Ryan was apologizing to her. I lost it. I told Ryan that his mother wore a wedding dress to our wedding, ruined our ceremony with her fake crying, gave a toast calling our marriage a mistake, and he was apologizing to her. He said I was being cruel and that his mom was just emotional and didn't mean it that way. We came home from the honeymoon early, at Ryan's insistence. I was done, completely done. When we got home, I told Ryan I'm going no contact with his mother. No calls, no visits, no holidays, nothing. He needs to set serious boundaries or I'm reconsidering this marriage. Ryan said I'm overreacting and being controlling and that family is family. He said I'm trying to isolate him from his mother and that's abuse. I said wearing a wedding dress to your son's wedding and saying he's making a mistake is abuse. Going no contact is self-protection. We've been fighting nonstop for 3 weeks. Ryan has gone to his mother's house to get space from me twice. He's been spending more time with her than with me, his wife of 3 weeks. Yesterday, Linda called me from Ryan's phone. I have her blocked. She said she forgives me for embarrassing her at the wedding, and that she understands I was overwhelmed. She said if I apologize to her, we can start fresh. I hung up. Ryan came home furious, said I was rude to his mother and that she was extending an olive branch. He said I need to apologize or he's not sure we can move forward. I told him to get out. He's been staying at his mother's house for 2 days. My family is completely on my side. My friends are on my side. Even some of Ryan's friends have reached out saying they were horrified by Linda's behavior. But Ryan is acting like I'm the villain. Like I'm the one who ruined everything. Reddit, I feel like I'm losing my mind. Am I overreacting? Should I have just let it go? Is going no contact too extreme? I've been married for 3 weeks and I'm already considering divorce. What do I do? Update 1 4 days later. Thank you all so much for the overwhelming support. Reading your comments has made me feel less crazy and more validated than I felt in weeks. A lot has happened in the last 4 days. Buckle up. First, I sent Ryan a message telling him we needed to go to marriage counseling or I wanted a divorce. I gave him 24 hours to respond. He didn't respond for 36 hours. When he finally did, it was a long text about how hurt he was that I would threaten divorce over his mother and how I'm not the woman he thought he married. The woman he thought he married? We've been married 3 weeks. He married exactly who I've always been, the woman who's been biting her tongue about his boundary-stomping mother for 4 years. I responded, marriage counseling or divorce papers. Choose. He said he'd think about it. I said he had 48 hours to decide and book a counseling appointment or I'm filing. Second, I got the wedding photos back from our photographer. I've been dreading looking at them, but my mom convinced me to at least see them before I make any final decisions about the marriage. Reddit, they're awful. Linda is in everything. The photographer said in her email, I tried my best to work around the situation, but the mother of the groom was very present. I've included some edited versions where I removed her from key shots, but there are some photos where it wasn't possible. There are photos of Linda posing in front of our wedding backdrop alone, standing directly behind us during the ceremony photobombing, in the background of our first kiss, with her hands over her face crying, literally holding Ryan's hand during our newlywed dance photos. She cut in during the dance, remember? In MY bridal portraits somehow, she wandered into the area while we were shooting. My mom cried when she saw them. She said, "Sweetie, I'm so sorry. You deserved better than this." I sent a selection of the photos to Ryan with the message, "Look at what your mother did to our wedding day. This is unacceptable." His response? She was just excited and emotional. "You're being really mean about this." I'm being mean? I lost it. I called him. He didn't answer. I left a voicemail that was probably too angry, but I don't care anymore. Third, Linda posted photos on Facebook. My wedding photos that she clearly took on her phone or got from a guest. But here's the kicker. She cropped me out of several of them. It's just her and Ryan. And her caption? "The most important day of my life. My baby boy is all grown up. Nobody will ever love you like mommy does." She used a bride emoji for herself. Multiple people commented asking why she was wearing white. Her response to every single one: "It's cream, not white." Some people are so sensitive. My maid of honor commented, "That's a wedding dress, and you know it." Linda deleted the comment and blocked her. My friend sent me screenshots of everything before Linda could delete them. I now have documentation of this insanity. Fourth, I found out more about Ryan's family dynamics from his brother. Ryan's younger brother, Tom, 28M, reached out to me. We've never been particularly close, but he sent me a long message apologizing for the wedding and saying he should have warned me about Mom years ago. Turns out, Tom is engaged and his fiancée has already told Linda she's not invited to their wedding because of her behavior at OURS. Linda pulled similar, though less extreme, stunts at Tom's college graduation and made it about her baby Ryan, instead of Tom's achievement. Linda has been in therapy for years, but refuses to actually work on anything. Their dad divorced Linda when the boys were young specifically because she was obsessed with Ryan in an unhealthy way. Tom moved across the country partially to get away from Linda's drama. Ryan has always been the golden child and is completely blind to how weird Mom is. Tom said, "I love my brother, but he's been enabled his whole life. Mom trained him to prioritize her feelings over everything else, and he doesn't even see it. I'm really sorry you're dealing with this." This explained so much. Tom also said, and this made my blood run cold, that Linda has never approved of any of Ryan's girlfriends. She sabotaged every relationship Ryan's had. There was one ex-girlfriend who Linda apparently spread rumors about, told lies to Ryan about, and eventually convinced Ryan to break up with. Tom said, "I thought you'd be different because you lasted longer than the others." But Mom was probably just biding her time until she could blow everything up. The wedding was her chance. I felt sick. Was this whole marriage doomed from the start? Fifth, Ryan finally came home last night at 11 p.m. He's been at Linda's house for 3 days. He walked in like nothing was wrong, tried to kiss me hello. I stepped back and said, "Did you book the marriage counseling?" He sighed and said, "Can we talk about this tomorrow? I'm tired." I said, "No. Did you book it or not?" He admitted he didn't. He said he doesn't think we need counseling and that I just need to apologize to his mom and move on. I stared at him. This man, my husband, was really asking me to apologize to the woman who wore a wedding dress to our wedding and said he was making a mistake marrying me. I said, "Get out." He said, "What?" I said, "Get out of this apartment. You clearly want to be with your mother more than your wife, so go. Get out." He tried to argue. I pulled out my phone and showed him the Facebook posts where Linda cropped me out of our wedding photos. His face went pale. He said, "She didn't mean." I cut him off. "Get out." He left. I don't know where he went. I don't care. I blocked his number. Current status. Ryan has been gone for 18 hours. I've contacted a divorce lawyer. Consultation is Monday. I've told my parents everything and they're horrified but supportive. Tom has offered to be a witness/character reference if needed. My maid of honor is coming over tonight with wine and pizza. I've started looking for a new apartment. I'm getting a divorce after 3 weeks of marriage. I feel like a failure, but I also feel relieved, like I'm finally standing up for myself after years of making myself smaller to accommodate Linda. Ryan's made his choice. He chose his mother over his wife. That's all I need to know. Final update. It's been 3 weeks since my last update, and I'm posting this final time to close this chapter of my life. I filed for divorce. Given that we were married for less than a month and have no shared assets, no kids, and no property, my lawyer said it should be straightforward. We're in a state where you can get an annulment under certain circumstances, and my lawyer is arguing emotional fraud/misrepresentation. Basically, that Ryan concealed the extent of his mother's involvement in his life and his inability to set boundaries. Ryan initially contested it. He showed up at the apartment. I'd changed the locks and yelled through the door about how I was giving up on us and throwing away our marriage over nothing. I opened the door just enough to hand him divorce papers and said, "Your mother wore a wedding dress to our wedding and you defended her. That's not nothing. Sign the papers." He started crying, real tears this time, said he didn't know how things got this bad and he wanted to fix it. I said, "You had multiple chances to fix it. You chose your mother every single time. I'm done." He signed the papers 3 days later. About a week after I filed, Linda showed up at my workplace. My workplace. Security had to escort her out, but not before she caused a scene in the lobby. She screamed about how I was destroying her baby's life, and I was a manipulative Jezebel who seduced her son and then abandoned him. She said I owed her for the money she spent on her wedding dress, audacious, and that she was going to sue me for alienation of affection. My boss witnessed the whole thing. She was incredibly supportive and asked if I needed to file a restraining order. I said I'd think about it. I got a cease and desist letter sent to Linda. That seemed to work. Haven't heard from her since. Tom, Ryan's brother, called me 2 weeks ago. He said Ryan had a major breakdown at Linda's house and Linda called Tom panicking about it. Apparently, Ryan finally realized what he'd done. He told Linda that he ruined his marriage and that maybe she was too involved. Linda, predictably, told him that I ruined the marriage by being jealous of their close relationship and that he dodged a bullet. But here's the important part. Ryan actually disagreed with her. For maybe the first time in his life. He told her that wearing a wedding dress was not normal and her toast was inappropriate. Linda apparently had a meltdown about her son, turning on her. Tom said it was a disaster. Ryan called me from a new number since I'd blocked him and left a voicemail. He said, he's sorry. He finally gets it. He's going to therapy. He should have protected me. He knows he can't undo what happened. He doesn't expect me to take him back, but he wanted me to know he understands now. I didn't call him back. It's too little, too late. But I do hope therapy helps him. Maybe his next partner won't have to deal with what I dealt with. Remember those awful wedding photos? My photographer, absolute angel that she is, offered to do a trash the dress photo shoot for free. I took her up on it. Last weekend, my bridesmaids and I went to a beautiful outdoor location. I wore my wedding dress and we did a photo shoot that was actually fun. We threw paint. We burned a Linda effigy. Kidding, but we thought about it. We popped champagne. We laughed until we cried. Those are the photos I'm keeping. Those are my wedding photos now. Just me and the women who actually had my back. I'm living in a new apartment now. It's smaller than the place I shared with Ryan, but it's mine. I decorated it exactly how I want.
No compre mais.
No cream-colored anything, Linda's favorite color, apparently. I'm back in therapy, processing everything, learning about enmeshment, emotional incest, and how to spot red flags earlier. My therapist said what happened to me is unfortunately common with mama's boys and that I did everything right by leaving. I'm not dating. I'm not ready, but I'm okay with that. My family has been incredible. My parents took me on a redo honeymoon to Hawaii last week. It was exactly what I needed. Tom and I have stayed in touch. He's become a real friend through all this. His wedding is next summer, and I'm invited. Linda is not invited. Tom and his fiancée are actually eloping and then having a reception later just to avoid any Linda drama. Smart. I ran into one of Ryan's friends at the grocery store yesterday. He stopped me and said, "I just want you to know, we all thought what Linda did was insane. Most of us don't talk to Ryan anymore because he can't see how messed up it all is. You deserved better." It was validating to hear. I was married for 26 days. Only 26 days. It's embarrassing. It's painful. When people ask, I usually just say, I'm divorced and change the subject. But I'm not ashamed anymore. I didn't fail. I escaped. I escaped a marriage where I would have always come second to my mother-in-law, where my boundaries would never be respected, where my feelings would always be less important than Linda's tantrums. Some people have asked if I regret marrying Ryan. Honestly, no. Because if I hadn't married him, I might have wasted even more years waiting for him to change. The wedding was the catalyst that showed me exactly who he was and what my future would look like. Linda did me a favor, in the most twisted way possible. She showed me the truth before I wasted decades of my life. To anyone dealing with a nightmare MIL and a partner who won't set boundaries, it will not get better. They will not change unless they want to. You cannot love someone into respecting you. You deserve a partner who protects you, not one who expects you to shrink yourself to accommodate their mother. I'm 29 years old, divorced, living alone, and starting over. And you know what? I'm going to be fine. Better than fine. Because I chose myself. Linda can keep her precious baby boy. I'm choosing my peace. Thanks for following this nightmare, Reddit. I'm closing this chapter and moving forward with my life. Edit. For everyone asking, yes, I got the annulment. My lawyer successfully argued that Ryan misrepresented the nature of his relationship with his mother and his ability to prioritize his marriage. The judge apparently looked at the Facebook photos and the wedding photos and immediately approved it. So legally, it's like the marriage never happened. Perfect. And yes, my wedding dress survived the photo shoot. I'm actually going to donate it to a charity that provides wedding dresses to low-income brides. Someone should get to have a happy memory in it, even if I didn't.